12 News, an Osseo man who loved Christmas.
He's a little boy at heart all the time.
How his Christmas spirit continues to shine. Plus, an 8-year-old girl battling a digestive disease is doing something out of the ordinary to stay healthy. But first, crisis training in Hennepin County. It's in response to our nation's wave of mass shootings. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. It happened in San Bernardino. Could it happen here?
Unfortunately, mass shootings have become all too common. Eric Nelson joins us now with how Hennepin County prepares for such events. Eric?
Yeah, Alex and Mike, recently there has been a tragic wave of random mass shootings globally and nationally. Many Northwest Metro residents are concerned about critical response. Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek addressed that today in Brooklyn Park and says that law enforcement in Minnesota is closely monitoring recent events.
We're going to study what took place in Paris just a few weeks ago, Colorado Springs just last week, San Bernardino earlier this week. It's possible that our training or gear will be adapted based on what we learn from these recent mass casualty incidents.
Stanek and the Sheriff's Office gave a tour today of their new ballistic engineered response vehicle, which has been dubbed the Bear. This tank-like vehicle can transport SWAT teams in a critical incident scenario or citizens who need to be removed from a volatile situation. Stanek says if the unthinkable happens, Minnesota will have all hands on deck.
You're going to see a multi-agency response. You're going to see the Sheriff's Office, you're going to see Minneapolis Police, you're going to see Med Transit, you're going to see Park Police, State Troopers, you're going to see the Troopers helicopter. You're going to see a number of officers, different uniforms, different agencies respond.
Now, besides a potential mass shooting, Sheriff Stanek said that Minnesota's first responders are also prepared for natural disasters, bridge collapses, large fires, and suspects in barricade situations. Mike?
All right, thank you, Eric. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, meanwhile, has identified the Brooklyn Park officer who witnesses say was punched and choked by a suspect. Investigators say Officer Sean Hyman was punched multiple times. The criminal complaint says the officer was hurt so badly he had to be carried away on a stretcher. Hyman has been a Brooklyn Park officer for nearly 2 years. The suspect, Lance Carr, is charged with first-degree assault. The criminal complaint says Carr also tried to reach for the officer's gun, which went off, but no one was hit.
Golden Valley police continue to look for a rape suspect. 33-year-old Hussein Ismail of St. Louis Park is wanted on a third-degree criminal sexual conduct charge. As we went to air, Ismail remained at large and was charged this week based on DNA evidence. Ismail was already on supervised probation for an assault of a different woman. This week is Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week.
Now, 1.6 million Americans are affected by the digestive diseases, including 8-year-old Raegan Wierman from Dayton. As Sonia Goins reports, she's doing something most adults would have a hard time doing to stay healthy.
Taya, help me pick out one you want to do with me.
You can't tell by Raegan Wierman's playful attitude that she's fighting a chronic disease.
Let's just rebuild it however we want.
She was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in October.
I don't really like going to the doctor anymore because it's usually something bad that's going to happen.
Crohn's is an inflammatory bowel disease. Raegan often complained to her parents that her stomach hurt.
Her mood was down. She wasn't interested in eating at the dinner table. It was almost a fight to get her to eat.
She lost a lot of weight and had loose stools.
It's overwhelming. And you immediately start doing your homework.
Instead of taking steroids or other medicines to treat Crohn's disease, Raegan is using a treatment called exclusive enteral nutrition, or EEN. That means Raegan can't eat any food at all.
It's gonna help me get better.
Instead, she's fed a nutritional shake through a nasogastric tube.
You gotta hook this in there. There's no wrong way to do it.
She says the toughest part about the treatment is seeing everyone else eat.
It feels like I just want to get mad and cry.
The hard part is just seeing your kid go through it.
Dad is not letting Raegan go through this alone. He's not eating food either, just drinking protein shakes.
Eating is a big part of your daily life, and I just didn't want her to do it alone.
Raegan is treated here at the University of Minnesota Specialty Clinic in Maple Grove. Her doctor says he's seeing more patients like Raegan. Statistics show that 25% of people newly diagnosed with Crohn's and colitis are children or teens.
Frequency of Crohn's disease definitely is going up through the years.
Dr. Boris Siddell says Raegan's treatment is working, and she's hardly showing any signs of Crohn's disease.
When the gut is at rest and there is no food going through the gut, disease symptoms typically get under better control.
In a few weeks, Raegan will be weaned off the shakes and will be able to eat food.
I want mashed potatoes and gravy and chocolate pie.
Her family's Christmas wish is to find a cure for Crohn's.
It's really overwhelming. Of course, all you want in life is for your kids to be happy and healthy.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Even if it meant
The family put off Thanksgiving dinner until the end of January, and that's when Raegan will be able to eat again. But she's a trooper, still plays sports, and has a good attitude. And for more information on Crohn's, you can log on to our website at 12.tv.
In Golden Valley, the spirit of giving moved 1,700 employees to do some heavy lifting to benefit others.
But you guys are doing great work. Fantastic work. Keep it up.
Call it a human chain of giving. Employees at Allianz Life loaded more than 35,000 pounds of donated food and clothing onto trucks headed for area food shelves and nonprofits. Each year, Allianz employees donate money and items to those in need. This year, $75,000 goes to Second Harvest Heartland Food Bank.
For every dollar that is donated to Second Harvest Heartland, we can distribute 3 meals out to the community. So doing the quick math, $75,000, that's almost over 225,000 meals we're going to be able to distribute with that donation.
More than 2,500 toys and $20,000 also goes to Toys for Tots.
The children aren't the only people in need of gifts for Christmas. Often homebound seniors are overlooked. Home Instead Senior Care is organizing the Be a Santa to a Senior program this year. You can go inside a Lunds and Byerly's to pull an ornament off the tree near the pharmacy, purchase the items and return them to the store no later than Friday, December 11th.
We really have to let these seniors know that they're not forgotten during the holidays. There's just so many, and I think it's really the last group of people that get thought about during the holidays.
And the items seniors typically ask for are very modest. Some examples are gloves, hats, mittens, puzzles, playing cards, stamps, or toiletries. You can find more information as well as drop-off locations on beasantatoasenior.com. Well, coming up, gone but not forgotten, how memories of an Osseo man continue to shine at Christmas.
And then a little bit later in sports, part of the Osseo Arena gets a new name honoring a former coach.
But first, winter hits the pause button. Temperatures feeling pretty mild this weekend.
group of furry friends had the chance to get on the Christmas spirit this week. Santa Claus visited the shops at Arbor Lakes in Maple Grove on Thursday to pose for photos with pets. The event was organized by Good Karma Animal Rescue of Minnesota, and all proceeds benefit the nonprofit rescue organization.
It goes directly to the care of the dogs, to their vet costs. Spaying and neutering helps us save some sick, high at-risk dogs. So every dollar that we raise counts. It's really important.
Good Karma raised about $1,000 from the photo session. The event was so popular that they hope to have Santa come out for 2 days next year. Boardroom Park in Osseo has a new look for the holidays.
But longtime Osseo residents may remember many of the homemade decorations. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton explains why.
You've got the Osseo football player, you've got the Smith train over there.
In downtown Osceo's Boardroom Park, the Christmas decorations are a far cry from mass-produced off-the-shelf inflatables and light-up reindeer.
I kind of like the barn and the outhouse.
But you might recognize a few of these scenes.
These were the major scenes. The very first scene was the village scene down there.
Since they've been going up elsewhere in Osseo for decades.
He added something new every year until like 2 years ago is when he quit doing it.
For Bruce Smith's father, George, who lived on 4th Avenue, Christmas was a big deal.
My dad loved Christmas. He was a little boy at heart all the time, and Christmas to him was, he had to have tons of presents. You know, he grew up in the Depression, and I don't think there was a lot.
So he let his Christmas spirit shine for all the neighborhood to see.
My dad put in an extra service, electric service, to have enough to run his lights.
Eventually, the display got to be too much to handle.
The girls would go in the house and decorate the house for mom and dad and put up the tree and stuff, and the boys would be outside. It was always a family thing.
When George Smith passed away last year and his wife moved to senior housing, the lights went off and people noticed.
And I said, would you like to put it up in the city park?
Sandy Danks and the Osseo Lions Club took George's decorations, agreeing to store and keep them as a part of an Osseo Christmas.
Hopefully this will go up every year, and George is smiling on us today, and love seeing it lit up in town because that's what he liked. He enjoyed his town.
In Osseo, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
You can see George Smith's displays and much more in downtown Osseo during December. Well, coming up, a Charles Dickens classic on the stage, but not the one you might be thinking of.
But first, we'll hear from Channel 12 fishing pro Terry Tuma at this weekend's big ice fishing show. John Jacobson is in next.
With at least another week of mild December weather here, ice fishing seems a ways off yet. But many who love the outdoors in Minnesota and fishing are heading to St. Paul this weekend for the 23rd annual St. Paul Ice Fishing and Winter Sports Show. I caught up with Channel 12 fisherman Terry Tuma this afternoon to talk about the event.
It's a great opportunity for anglers to come and look at equipment, new equipment. In fact, I had a phone call yesterday. What should we look at the show? You know, so everybody's anticipating, and we are going to have ice, John. You know, sooner or later we're going to get ice, and but it's going to be a great opportunity for people to come in and just take a look at all the products out here. You know, if anybody's looking at a fish house, for instance, or whatever, they got them all right here.
Mild weather is certainly nice for some people, but obviously a lot of people depend on that cold weather in these winter months here in Minnesota, right?
Well, there's really a lot of people that depend on, you know, it's not just the ice fishing, but you got snowmobiling, you got cross country, you got all, you know, even snowblowers, and you can go on and on. But two, you know, I just talked to someone just a couple of minutes ago. Do you ever remember a year where we didn't ice fish? No, and that's always the case. You know, we always ice fish. Sometimes it's later, sometimes it's sooner. It'll come. You know, just this year it's a little bit later. But also, too, John, is that there are some lakes further up north that have about 5 inches of ice on them. So they are ice fishing out there.
Saturday, I know you've got a seminar here, right, at noon?
Yes, I do. I'm going to be doing a crappie bluegill seminar, John, and that's usually very, very well attended, and we'll be giving door prizes away afterwards. And then I'll stay till all the questions are answered, and I'll be back in the clam booth also after that to answer any questions.
The ice show is open at the St. Paul River Center until 9 o'clock Friday night and from 10 to 7 Saturday and 10 until 5 on Sunday. Quentin Carlson was a teacher and hockey coach in Osseo in the 1960s and 70s, but died from an accident in 1977. Nearly 40 years later, his contributions to hockey in the area are being recognized. Thursday night before the Orioles varsity hockey game, the West Rink at Osseo, the original sheet of ice there, was named Quentin Carlson Rink. Carlson's daughters helped lead the drive for the memorial, and his grandsons were there to drop a ceremonial first puck. Both play in the Youth Hockey Association. It was a special night for the Carlson family.
Today is a great day for Osseo to bring back the memories of what he stood for and what a great district we have, and the values that Coach William Fino carry are the same my dad did. So we're very excited to be part of this today and bring him back to the forefront.
I'm excited. I got to grow up playing hockey at this arena and I always had a little plaque that I could point to and be proud of my grandpa. And now today to have CQ on the ice and a big sign is really a proud moment for our family.
After the ceremony, the Orioles played their varsity contest on the Quentin Carlson Rink against the other Orioles from St. Louis Park. Osseo's Anthony Fetzik fires the shot, not in initially, but goalie can't locate the puck, and Max Johnson's the one that pokes it in. And Osseo goes up 1-0 midway through the first. St. Louis Park ties it up. Lexi Robello's pass tipped in by Willie Basil. 1:17 left in the period. It's 1-1 after one. St. Louis Park gets a pair of goals in the second. Bauer Neudecker walks out front, snaps a shot home, and the Park Orioles lead 3-1. Osseo gets one more in the third period, but it's not enough in this one, and St. Louis Park wins it 6-2, the final. The Maple Grove girls basketball team didn't choose a light load in non-conference play. The Crimson opened the season against number 2 Minnetonka Thursday night. Hannah Hedstrom drives, kicks it out to Grace Allen for a skipper's 3, and a 19-4 Tonka lead. The Crimson chip away, though. Allie Schmidt, nice move underneath, and the lead is cut to 24-17. But Tonka rebuilds that margin. Hedstrom, nice drive. She'll hit the scoop shot plus a foul. 39-22 Skippers at halftime. Lizzie Odegaard drives with the left hand and hits the hook shot for a 43-22 Tonka lead early in the second half. Hedstrom sets up a wide open Courtney Fredrickson, and she'll nail a 3. Minnetonka wins big over Maple Grove. 69-45 is the final. And that's Look at Sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back. And finally, a Charles Dickens favorite makes an appearance at the Eisenhower Community Center in Hopkins.
But it's not the one you might be thinking of. Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
Set in 1830s England, Dickens' story of Oliver Twist is familiar, but it was Lionel Bart who simplified the story and gave it music and lyrics for its musical stage debut in 1960.
Hard-hearted man, hard-hearted.
Blue Water Theatre Company has now put its unique stamp on the story.
It's a very, very original production of this show. We've taken a lot of risk and experiments with this production, like especially the opening sequence, which I'm not going to spoil.
We've taken a few liberties with the script, and it's kind of has a more heavy feeling in your gut afterwards.
The show has its light moments, to be sure, but there's an overall serious tone to the story. The set and colors are dark and muted and add to the sense of gravity in the life of the impoverished orphan Oliver. Jack Stetler plays the evil Bill Sykes.
He can take what he likes because he's gained this reputation of just evil and cruel.
Blue Water Theatre Company is an independent community theater company, and most of the high school age actors had to choose this production over what their high schools might be performing. They all said that they enjoy working with the broader range of ages and actors from different schools.
You're just surrounded by this swarm of people who a lot of them you've never met before. And you're reaching out and connecting through all these different schools where you would otherwise have had no connection with.
The caliber of these actors and actresses here are phenomenal. We got like, you know, the best actors from like 13 different schools here.
So for a new take on a timeless musical, come check out Oliver at the Eisenhower Community Center. For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
And performances of Oliver are tonight and Saturday at the Eisenhower Community Center. For tickets, go to bluewatertheater.com. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Have a great weekend.